What's up, guys? Welcome to Nick's Vlogcast channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Trump's wall. And I want to talk about some of the things that I hear from liberals when discussing the wall. One thing that I hear is that, well, it's a silly idea and it's not going to work. And another thing that I hear is it's a divisive, hateful idea. So let me just say this. People that come across the border of Mexico and the United States illegally and sneak across the many miles, okay, of unprotected, with no fence, large area that you can choose to come across. The people that are doing that illegally, and they are here undocumented, and they are not paying taxes. They are not and I hate hearing that bullshit. They do pay taxes. Okay, they pay sales tax like me and you. They don't get 30% of their check taken out and gone to the government to pay for things like military and all of the beautiful things that go with living in the United States. So if you come across the border illegally, we don't know who you are, you're not paying taxes, and you're also really insulting the many immigrants that do come here legally, and they wait and they pay money. There's a process involved that a lot of families do. They spend a lot of time and effort saving up to pay for the process, all of the fees, the applications. They go and do the process the way it's set up, and then they get approved and they come here and then they pay taxes. And anyway, I think it's a real big insult to the immigrants that are here that did it the right way, when people just walk right across and totally ignore the rules. Now, I am very sympathetic to the fact that there are people in situations, and I'm sympathetic to the fact that there are many reasons why people will take that risk because of opportunity and things like that. But that does not mean that we just ignore laws and rules. We have a law, we have a way that you are supposed to legally come into the country. If you just say, I don't give a fuck about your law and I'm entitled to be in this country, when again, you're not a citizen of it, you were not born here. I think that's kind of crazy. That when we say that we want to build a wall, a structure, okay, to prevent the illegal crossings, it's kind of crazy to say that those people are hateful and racist that support the wall. All you're trying to do is stop a crime from being committed. Being against the wall is like saying that we want to impose a drinking age, but we want to outlaw IDs. It doesn't totally make sense. Without the IDs, you're just going to be guessing, and there's going to be a lot of errors being made. And it's very easy. If you make ID, okay. Sure, there will be very small numbers of people that have fake IDs that are going to be able to, skate through the law. But, building a structure that when you get there and you can't get oh, holy shit, that's a big wall. Everywhere I go, there's a big wall, and there's a barbed wire fencing on top or what have you. And maybe you do try to get over it, but by that time, at least there's border patrol officers that are moving back and forth and can identify you. And let me make this clear too. I really am not that concerned. I'm not as concerned about the families and the people that try to come here for a better life. I do think that they should go and do it the right way, and not just be like, I'm going to live in the U.S. illegally for the rest of my life. If you come here and you get married or whatever you're going to do, which is within the law, do it. Okay. But let me say this. The United States consumes over 90% of the world's illicit drugs, illegal drugs. We have such a bad opiate problem. We still have a bad cocaine problem. We consume drugs in this country. And the majority of the drugs coming into this country are coming across the border. And you have people, when drugs are harvested, manufactured south of the border. I'll give you an example. Now, I might not have the exact price correct on a gram of cocaine in Mexico, because I haven't been and asked what the gram of cocaine in Mexico is in a while. But I can tell you that it is significantly cheaper south of the border. You know, we're talking like $10 is going to get you a good amount, a night's worth of cocaine. In the United States, okay, a gram of cocaine, maybe $50, $60, $70. All right. So the cartel, once they manufacture those drugs, absolutely the goal, even if they lose a shipment or two trying to get stuff across the border, as long as they get the majority of their shipments across the border, it's still worth it. It's absolutely still worth it. Also, it is in their interest, it is in gangs and cartels' interest to have a large presence in the United States. To maintain control of the area. So to do that, though, you need to keep pumping in drugs. You need to have a product, something that people want. Power talks, drugs talk, money talks in the whole cartel gang world, what have you. So, that's what I'm concerned about. There was over 70,000 overdose deaths last year in the United States. Okay, I'm 27 years old. Since I graduated high school, I have had at least 10 friends, some okay friends, but a few close friends die from heroin overdoses. That's how bad it is. I live in Massachusetts. It's bad here. Boston. Do some research on this, and we're far up. Okay, it's tragic. It's absolutely tragic. And you could say that you can look into all the reasons as to why it is that we have this bad of a drug problem. You could even say that, well, it started with pills and pharmaceutical. Okay, that's fine, but you know what? I don't really see many people overdosing from pills. It's usually when it turns into heroin addictions and things like that, is what people are dying from. And fentanyl. Okay. This is manufactured and made south of the border, and it is smuggled across. When you are trying to get drugs into the United States, and let's see, I think roughly about 20% of the border already does have fencing. But when you're looking, and I'm a cartel person, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to sneak through. They have all day, plenty of time, plenty of resources to watch our border patrol. We only have so many border patrol officers. They know what areas have fencing. They know what areas are heavily patrolled. And then maybe when one area becomes heavily patrolled, they shift somewhere else. But anyway, when you have 800 plus miles of border, and you got people who have all day to just watch your border patrol until they pass by and they make their run for it or whatever with a huge shipment of heroin or cocaine. I just can't understand why putting a wall would be a bad idea. Why are people so against putting a wall up that is going to prevent a crime from happening? Right? I've met quite a few people that they think it's a racist thing or it's a hateful thing. I don't understand. It's funny too, because some people are not from this country that have said that, and I'm pretty well traveled. One country in particular I've been to is Brazil 3 times, and when I'm in Brazil and you drive around neighborhoods, one of the first thing I noticed was that there's concrete walls with barbed wire through the neighborhoods. Wow. You guys have walls everywhere, huh? You can't even see in anyone's yards. Yeah, a lot of break-ins. Okay, if someone breaks into your house and then breaks into your neighbor's house and breaks into your other neighbor's and then breaks into your house again, you put up a fucking wall. It's very simple. It's a simple idea. That's what's beautiful about it. It's so simple that we know walls work. Okay, perfect. Put up a wall. Just see what happens. Okay, $5 billion for a wall. We give away more than that. Just literally in aid to other countries every single year. I can't even fathom. And you know something? Fencing was actually approved twice that I know of. Okay, to add additional fencing. Once during Bill Clinton's administration, and once during Obama's administration. So two Democrats. That's unbelievable. And then when a Republican wants to put in some barrier of some sort, it's hateful and it's racist and it's silly. The opposition to the wall is strictly because Trump has gotten so much done in his short time as president, what he promised, tax reform. He was going to take care of this psychopath in North Korea. Okay, done. He was going to start dealing with China and try to rework a new trade deal. In progress right now. They've already met. Okay. He was going to reinvigorate the steel industry in the United States. Done. On it. Okay. He was going to address crime and terrorism throughout the whole entire world, for that matter. I certainly can say that I've heard less and less terrorist attacks and ISIS incidents in this country. And he also said he was going to, he said he was going to straighten out the immigration process. And you know what? If with what he's already done and how well the economy is doing, and how much people are thriving, unemployment at a historic all-time low, also at an all-time low in the Black and Latino community. Isn't that something interesting? And he hasn't implemented one thing other than being tough on getting rid of immigration, which, again, if it's a crime, it's a crime, you know? Again, plenty of immigrants. Let me say this in this video. Just about all of my friends, my closest friends, are actually immigrants in the United States. All of my closest friends. I won't get into how that all happened, but really, I mean, most of the people I talk to and my closest, dearest friends are immigrants. I love them, okay? But to my knowledge, all of them are legal and, as far as I'm concerned. And I know for sure none of them are involved with drug trafficking or any bad stuff like that. But anyway, I'll keep moving forward. So if Trump, with all the stuff he's already done, is able to get the wall built as well, he'll have basically fulfilled all of his campaign promises within his first term, which is unheard of. What do we see all the time? Presidents getting elected, and then he really only did one or two of the things he said he was going to do in his campaign promises. And this is another thing that people need to understand. So he declared a national emergency, which you could say 70,000 deaths a year from drugs, illegal drugs, heroin, fentanyl. The numbers are staggering. We know where it's coming from. We know how many illegal crossings there are per year. And the numbers on gang violence are up. Everything's up. It's getting, gang activity at least is getting worse. So I will say this. If we know this is happening, and we have a president that during his campaign, okay, basically one of the biggest slogans and messages during his campaign was, I'm going to build a wall, right? Sounds funny. Liberals are laughing. Look at these hillbillies and idiots or whatever. They could say whatever they want, but that was what he said in his campaign. Now, he got elected fair and square. He was an elected president, okay, through our democratic process, right? It is his duty, because he was elected to the American people. We elect politicians to represent us and what we want. That's how this happens. So the American people have spoken. This is what, over 60 million Americans want. We elected him. That was his promise. He has a duty to us to fulfill his campaign promises. So when I see a president, getting resistance from the Democrats in Congress that just want to resist him on every. They don't care about what is good for us. They care about their political agenda, and they know if he keeps getting stuff done, this is devastating to them. So they've created this narrative out there that the wall is hateful and racist, and that Trump doesn't like immigrants. Trump's wife is an immigrant, okay? His daughter is married to a Jewish guy, okay? There are black people appointed in his administration, Dr. Ben Carson, which again, people say, well, look at the lack of color. Black people make up 12% of the population, so you should expect to see like more white people than black people, but I mean, I won't get too into that, but I'm just going to let you know there is something to be said about proportion. But again, he is not I'm not going to do the video about Trump and racism right now because I'd have to get into a whole new thing about how, like there's no real evidence of him being a racist. Most of the things are quite to the contrary. Watch, Trump, in his speech when he invited the group of the Black Leadership Summit, that he invited them all to the White House. Just watch that, what he had to say about black leadership and in America and up and coming America. So anyway, so something that is that he's fighting for us. He takes his campaign promises seriously. And he's declaring a national emergency and doing everything he can because he's getting so much resistance because of the less political agenda. And he's fighting for us. He's doing everything in his power to fulfill his campaign promises. And I respect that. You know, lawfully declaring a national emergency, if you look at the numbers of what's happening as a result from drug trafficking, and again, not all people that sneak in are drug traffickers. Not people. We're not saying that, but we are saying that even a small percentage of the people getting across the border being caught, that are killing people, that are committing crimes, and that are smuggling drugs. That's a problem. We shouldn't just accept that, and we shouldn't accept people coming in totally undocumented. If you apply for a visa and you overstay your visa here, I honestly don't have as big of a problem with that because, you know, you did apply for a visa. Like to get off the plane here, someone stamped you in, we scanned you in, we have your information, okay? And at least there's some semblance of like going through a process. I am strictly speaking about the illegal immigration of people sneaking in on foot, totally undocumented. This is my concern. And this is mainly what this should be focused on and directed towards. All right. So again, you have a president that's doing everything that he can to fulfill his campaign promises. And I think it's very admirable. And you have a left that is absolutely trying to just destroy everything and saying that it's silly, it's not going to work. Look, Israel is a great example of a country that installed a wall, and they had over 90% deterrence of illegal crossings. I think it was actually 99%, but I'm going to say what I heard for sure was over 90. So, over 90% deterrence of illegal crossing. I want to see what happens. I really do. I want to just see what happens. Let's do it. If you say, well, they'll come by boat. The thing is, by boat, the Coast Guard, boats are large metal objects. It is easy for us to pick those up on radar. We have plenty of people, staff, that, especially after putting in a wall, even more staff to be able to look and monitor what is coming towards from outside of our country, on a radar, and hop in a chopper, go check it out. It's a lot easier to stop things coming across, through the ocean. So again, guys, there's countries that have examples of a wall and its effectiveness. Even through thousands of years, it's been one of the most basic things that empires have done is build walls when they're trying to protect their country or a border or some type of thing. And don't even give me that shit about like the Berlin Wall and all this stuff. We're not that. We're a free country. We're one of the most generous countries. We are a free country. We're trying to remain a free country. Hopefully we don't become socialist, like, Bernie Sanders wants and that psychopath Cortez. But yeah, right now at the moment, we are a free country, a beautiful country, a generous country. And, yeah, we're trying to keep it that way. So, putting in a wall and just protecting people and preventing a crime is absolutely not a problem. Anybody who relates that to racism is an idiot because they are just watching CNN and they are just believing all of the lies and this narrative that they're trying to preach to you. They are trying to preach a narrative that you are a horrible human being if you even question anything other than what the left is filling you with, which again, I really beg people, if you're watching this video and your blood's boiling right now, because you're a leftist, I beg you, please, just check some sources, do some independent research other than, through articles you read on CNN or your social media account. How many people do I talk to that basically start talking to me and spitting facts out based off of some shit they saw on Facebook? That's not what you should be doing. I even question, when I watch Fox News, right? But I do some independent research. I try to fact check. I try to check some, actual, data sources like, FBI statistics and independent agencies other than a news station. And I got to tell you, most of the time, the Fox News actually has it right, and CNN is usually taking a study from not a government agency, like a couple of college kids at Columbia or some whatever, or a liberal professor put together this study on a limited group of people, and they try to spit it out like the election. Hillary is just killing Trump in the polls. Oh wow, there's no chance he can win, and then he wins. That right there should tell you that they are skewing facts to you. All right. They are skewing data and they are trying to trick you and they are trying to make you think and put blinders on and not even question and be a free thinker on your own. So please, do your own research. And, for those of you that are in agreement with me, please show some support, subscribe, leave some comments. I want to get to know you guys. Most of my videos on this channel are actually centered around, traveling and some other topics, but I here and there, I'm very much into politics and have a lot to say and want to do my part too as a conservative to try to educate people, because I do believe that the other side is really, really, I would almost say evil. I mean, they're really trying to contaminate people's minds and with lies. If the conservative side was trying to contaminate you with lies and constantly just trashing people's reputations and throwing them under the bus left and right with no regard for human beings, because I don't see that. I see that on the left, and I don't really see that on the right. So there you go. But yeah, I'm just trying to do my part. But I'm also trying to build a network of people, that are free thinkers and that are also interested in traveling. Again, check out my other videos. Most of them are centered around the fact that us as Americans can really benefit by spending some time in other countries, less wealthy countries. If you are an average Joe Smo and you go to Brazil or, Colombia or the Dominican Republic, other countries like that, you really can have a very, very good time. And, yeah, so I encourage you guys to check that out, but please subscribe, leave comments. I will respond to you. And, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for your time.